Welcome to another episode of the Pioneer Sideline. We have a great show ahead of us. We will start the show off by talking about the weekend that the baseball and softball team had. Then we will transition over to the hot topics in local and national news. Then we will finish the show as we always do with a round of the Pioneer Reporters. So are you ready to head on down to the Pioneer Sideline? Welcome to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Kyle Anthony. We'll start our coverage by talking about the Point Park baseball team with Robert Gomez, who has the inside scoop for us.
Thanks, Kyle. After a very busy week, the Point Park baseball team jumped its way into third place, just 2 games shy of the conference-leading IU Southeast. Despite being shut out of 2 games by Bluefield College earlier in the week, the Bisons quickly got their bats back on track with a crucial matchup against conference rival West Virginia Tech University. Point Park won 3 out of 4 games against WVU Tech with 2 exciting extra inning victories, both ending in a 3-2 score. Friday's Game 1 turned out to be a good old-fashioned pitching duel between Point Park's senior Jason Kim and WVU's Austin Southcott. Kim was able to edge out a victory going 8 innings, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 walk. After Kim's 1-2-3 top of the 8th performance, senior Shane Conley doubled to center field, only to have Jake Carew drive in Conley with a game-winning single to left field, giving the Bisons a 3-2 walk-off win. Point Park continued their momentum into Game 2 with an easy 6-1 win over WVU. Nolan Krivenjansky led the way, earning the W in a 1-run, 4 2/3 outing. Krivenjansky complemented with a fair amount of run support and RBIs coming from catcher Chris Hernandez, along with infielders Andy Chacon, Philemon Perez, and Jay Carew. The next day, after a close 4-5 loss, West Virginia Tech to Point Park ended their weekend on a high note with another thrilling 3-2 walk-off win in the 8th inning. After leading off with by reaching on an error, shortstop Jay Carew finds himself once again involved in late inning action, who will eventually be driven in by second baseman Dave Barefoot with a single to center for the game-winning hit. With 10 games left in the regular season, 7 of which are conference games, Point Park looks to narrow the gap between them and the conference-leading Indiana University Southeast.
Now, Robert, how important is it for the pitchers, besides for Jason Kim, to step up their level of play?
You know, it's very important. Going into these late last 10 games, this is where, as a staff, as a bullpen staff, you really need to carry your own in order to be successful, have a strong end of the season, and hopefully a strong start to the postseason.
Now, Robert, how important is it for the bottom of the lineup to improve their play? Because we've seen the top 5 in the lineup as being very productive, driving in a lot of runs, getting on base. But how important is it for the bottom of the lineup to match that level of production?
Yeah, it's also just as important as as the rest of that bullpen staff. You can't have just your top 5 guys swinging away and your bottom half not doing it. That's not going to cut it here in college baseball, any baseball really. To go deep in the playoffs, you need contributions 1 through 9 in that lineup.
Thanks, Robert. Now we will turn it to Blaine King to talk about the softball team.
Thanks, Kyle. The Point Park softball team continued their KIAC play last week as they played 2 games on the road. The first road game was against West Virginia Tech in West Virginia. In the first game of this doubleheader matchup, starting pitcher Ashley Ignema, pitched a gem of a game as she pitched a complete game, giving up only 1 earned run on 6 hits and 8 strikeouts. Offensively, second baseman Erica Burns had 2 hits, one of which was a 2 RBI double in the top of the 4th. Point Park won Game 1, 3-1. In Game 2, the same exact thing basically happened. The Pioneers got 6 strong innings from pitcher Hannah Harley, and second baseman Erica Burns popped a 2-run home run in the top of the third, giving the Pioneers a lead that they will not look back on. The final of this game was 3-2. Point Park's next road opponent was the Alice Lloyd Eagles, and talk about offensive domination. Thanks to the mercy rule, the Pioneers won both games in 5 innings. Haley Wisniewski and Delaney Boomis, led the team with 4 RBIs, and thanks to a 9-run first inning, the final in this game was 19-3. Game 2 saw another huge first inning for the Pioneers as they were able to put 12 runs on the board. Brittany Ziegler led the team with 3 RBIs, while Wisniewski, Bosmus, and Taylor Geary all had 2 RBIs. The final in Game 2 was 13-3. Point Park looked to continue their KIAC dominance as they have 4 games coming up against KIAC rivals.
Now, Blaine, how big is it that the Pioneers are finally putting up runs?
It's very important that they're putting up runs because now they're starting to blow teams out the park. It was Alice Lloyd, but once you start getting hot offensively, there's kind of no looking back.
Now, do you think this can carry on for the rest of the season, or do you think they're going to hit more rough patches?
Eventually, all hot streaks have to come to an end, but the thing is they're getting good pitching from their pitchers. So as long as you have that pitch in there that can carry you also, they should be fine. The bats, though, they're going to continue to get hot as the weather gets hot.
Thanks, Blaine. When we return, Sarah Macklin joins us for a look at the regional sports headlines. And later, with the Masters coming up this weekend, we put our own little spin on the Masters.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
All right, guys, any questions on scripts? Are we good to go?
Yep, right. Should be good.
All right, great.
Cool.
All right, yeah, camera 3, set up right there. Camera 2. All right. Use the ball when you're moving this around, but set up for the 2 shots just right there. Weather, how we doing?
It go rain.
Perfect.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Sarah Macklin with the real host, Adrian Dillon. We're seeing snuggle up.
All right, prompter. We got everything in. We're good to go? Key Pro, everything loaded. We're good to go? All right. Tyler, any questions?
That shot looks fine.
3, 2, 1. Bring up camera 2. Open mics. Cue talent.
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. I'm Blaine King.
We know you're wondering what the A-list celebrities are up to.
Well, here at Entertainment on Point, we're wondering too.
Have you heard about James Franco and Seth Rogen's new movie?
No, but have you heard Beyonce's new single?
Did you see what she was wearing on that red carpet?
Honey, that was not cute.
Did you see what happened on Scandal this week?
No, I was too busy keeping up with the Kardashians. No matter what your guilty pleasure is, we've got you covered.
Entertainment on Point. Get to the point of pop culture.
Yeah!
Welcome back to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm Sarah Macklin with your regional sports headlines. The Pittsburgh Penguins have been on fire recently, currently holding an active 6-game winning streak. The Penguins clinched their 10th consecutive playoff berth on Saturday, shutting out the New York Islanders by a score of 5-0. Their winning streak continued on Sunday when they defeated the Philadelphia Flyers 6-2. Goals were scored early on by Sidney Crosby, Bo Bennett, and Patrick Hornquist. Carl Hagelin added a goal and Eric Fair contributed 2 goals in the third to secure the win for the Penguins. Matt Murray started in the goal, both games with Marc-Andre Fleury out with a concussion. Murray was named one of the NHL's 3 stars for this past week for his strong play in the net. The NHL also named Sidney Crosby their first star for the month of March. The Penguins will finish their last 3 games of the regular season on the road. They face the Ottawa Senators tonight and will visit the Washington Capitals on Thursday. Their final game of the season will take place at the Wells Fargo Center versus rival Philadelphia Flyers. Now we go off the ice to the ballpark with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The 2016 Major League Baseball season began in our very own PNC Park this past Sunday when the Pirates faced rival St. Louis Cardinals. Pitcher Francisco Liriano tied a Pirates opening day record with 10 strikeouts, holding the Cardinals scoreless for 6 innings. He also drove in baseball's first run of the year with a single to right field. The Bucks scored another run that inning, along with one in the 6th and the 8th. Mark Melanson led up a run in the 9th, the only run all game for the Cardinals, but was able to close the game out. Newcomer David Freese impressed defensively and went 2 for 4 at the plate. Outfielder Gregory Polanco and catcher Francisco Cervelli each also had 2 hits in the Buccos' 4-1 victory. Speaking of Gregory Polanco, he agreed to a 5-year contract extension with the Pirates Monday, worth $35 million. The deal also includes 2 club options, which would make the contract worth $58 million over 7 years. The opening series will continue tonight versus the Cardinals at PNC Park at 7:05 and will come to a close Wednesday night. The Pirates will then travel to Cincinnati on Friday for a 3-game series with the Reds. That's all I have for your regional sports report. Stay tuned for the boys discussing the Masters.
This is the Masters edition of the Sideline. I'm joined by Phil Popor, Paul Daniels, and Blaine King. And we're talking Masters. And who do you think will win this year's green jacket? Blaine, let's start with you.
Well, I think for the first time since Tiger Woods did it back in 2003, I believe, I think we're going to have a repeat. I'm going with Jordan Spieth.
Wow.
It's a popular pick. That is a popular pick.
Yeah, that's tough to do, though. I mean, how many golfers have went back-to-back? I got Jason Day. He came on strong at the end of last year, won the PGA Championship, and he also won the Arnold Palmer this year.
That's true.
He's a good golfer, and he plays well. Always at Augusta. He's always there on the weekends, whether he's in the top 5 or not. He's always finishing in the top 10, top 15 at the Masters.
That's true. Well, I'm going to go with the same pick I made last year. My boy, Ricky Fowler.
Ricky.
Like I said, last year I said was his year, and compared to other people like Jason Day or Jordan Spieth, his year was not as great as theirs. Jordan Spieth won the first 2 majors.
Yeah.
But for Ricky, he had 1 win in his first 6 years on tour.
Right.
Last year, or this past calendar year, he has 4.
Right.
He got the Players' Championship and one of the greatest comebacks in golf. He raced 6 strokes through about 7 holes. Then he won the Scottish Open, he won the Deutsche Bank, and he won Abu Dhabi this year. So I think Ricky's going to cap off this recent run he's had with wins with winning the Masters.
Well, Blaine, let me ask you a question. For Jordan Spieth, he hasn't played well lately. How much does that factor in your decision? Because when it comes to the Masters, it usually is the hot golfer that goes in and wins.
Yeah, and that's true. It's usually a hot golfer that goes in because last year, Jordan Spieth, he went in on fire.
True.
Now I think that he has struggled, but I think that now that it's Masters times, I think that he's going to come back.
Do you think it's because he's too focused on the Olympics? Because he's talked about that being the most important thing this year.
Yeah,
that could be on his mind.
Is Jordan Spieth the next big player? Like, a lot of people have been saying that. He won 2 majors in a row, and is he going to be that guy? We'll find out this year if he can start getting those major victories, because it's tough. Major victories are tough to get. It's not easy.
No.
Well, and this year, the wind, usually at Augusta, it's relatively calm, and they're saying it's going to be 15 to 20 miles per hour, which is going to make that course even harder. And that's something that Ricky Fowler, he grew up on, because where he lived in California was windy. The Scottish Open was a very windy course, and he won that. So I think Ricky does have an advantage with this added wind factor.
Well, since you all gave your pick, I'll give mine. Usually I like guys that hit the ball far, so I'm a big Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson guy.
Bubba.
But I'll say this. Augusta's not a course where you're going to hit the ball far. Bubba's one of the few long driver champions. We talked about this last night that's won. Dustin Johnson, if he could close on a last day, it'd be great. I'm actually going to go with 2 guys, Rory and Jason Day. The guys that weren't mentioned, Rory's a hot guy, and this is what he needs. But thank you, guys. When we get back, these 3 men will face off against one another in our version of the Masters.
Here at the Pioneers Sideline, we get freshmen involved as quickly as possible so they get the real-world experience on air and behind the scenes to set themselves apart in internships and potential jobs.
Blaine, where is that video? I needed it in KeyPro like yesterday.
All right, I got you, Chris. But I got a quick question for you guys.
What do you mean the
Can you
questions?
just, like,
It's always a
answer me what's the
question.
clo-
It's always a... What? Where is he? Blaine. 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 Freshman. You can't find any good ones anymore.
Ever wanted to be behind the mic and have the world listening to your show on campus? Well, it's just as simple as joining WPPJ, Point Park's student-run radio station, located on the second floor of Lawrence Hall, right next to the dining services. Listeners can tune in using Point Park's website or through the TuneIn app by searching WPPJ. WPPJ welcomes any new DJs that want to get involved, so be heard. Do you have what it takes?
Well, no one showed up to the show tonight. Follow my lead. In 3, 2, take 2, open mics, cue talent. Good evening and welcome to UView News. I'm Josh Krupp. We begin with breaking news out of West Penn Hall. Ready, 3, take lower third. Traffic is backed up in the West Penn elevator line after elevator 1 broke down on the 7th floor. Lose lower third. Maintenance advises students to take the stairs to avoid delays. Ready, 2, take 2. In other news, no, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. We need crew. Join UView. Take alien hand transition.
Welcome to the University Center of Point Park for the amateurs. I'm Kyle Nathan. I'll be doing your play-by-play today, and I'm joined by Trevor Sheets. Hello, Trevor.
Hi Kyle. Pleasure to be here.
You know, we have some fine young golfers out here. We have Blaine King, Phil Papour, and Paul Daniels. We'll first go to Blaine King on hole 1 in a winner-take-all for the green jacket. Blaine, you can take your position.
No, not much is known about young Blaine King. He wasn't in this tournament last year, so it's kind of a wild card.
You know, I heard he has a nice solid swing. It looks like he cut this.
Nope, it's cutting to the right there slightly. Gonna get in the rough. Oh, sand trap.
You know, now, how do you feel about starting with a slice? Does it really impede your start?
Okay.
When he slices that badly, yeah. King's in trouble on a one-hole tournament like this. He's not gonna do.
Now we're at the highlight master, Phil Papour. He is a walking highlighter.
I mean, he's wearing the Puma again. I'm a little disappointed. It's a little more subtle this time.
Oh, no.
Shot there. Expecting big things out of Papour.
He keeps bringing it behind his head. He has a good ping on that.
Cutting a little bit, but it looks like he's going to be squarely in the green.
Distance-wise, he has outdrove Blaine King.
Yes, and a much better lie for him straight on towards the pin, where King's going to ask.
It wasn't for you. I'd have done the same
Next
thing.
up is the equivalent of Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore. It's Paul Daniels.
Big hitter, big persona. Let's see what Daniels can back up his smack talk we
He
heard
really
earlier.
did try to take my grandmother's house, though.
It's rude.
Oh, big
Not even a
swing.
practice shot. But
Get in the
he's
bunker,
in
baby.
trouble.
Get in the bunker, baby.
Oh, he's right next to
Bunker,
Mr. King.
baby.
He went. Actually, he is further back than Mr.
Yeah,
King.
probably should have taken a couple practice swings before he just let it rip like that. It's a mistake.
You know, he kind of reminds me of Jim Furyk. Oh wait, that's who he's playing with.
Yeah, the likeness is uncanny. See if he takes any practice swings this time. Nope, just going for it once again. You know, could have been worse. He got past that sand trap.
He could have went.
Just casual up
He
and
could have
down.
went trap to trap.
He could have. He got out of the trap, so we'll have to see if King can put some pressure on as well.
The Master King.
It's an interesting club choice there. I don't know if I'd go with that personally, but what do I know?
I mean, you did play the best round of mini golf in Scally's history.
I did what I could.
Stroke, right?
I'd be on stroke
Mr.
5.
King.
Oh no, he looks like he.
Said I'd be on stroke 5.
You know what? Better shot than Daniels. He's in decent shape. A little bit.
Well, you know, good people usually play well. That's what it must be. Now's Mr. Papour.
All right. Let's see if the muted colors are gonna enhance the game.
You know, we were gonna play in the green screen until we saw Phil's outfit, and it really had to change our approach.
All right, decent swing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, did he overshoot it there?
That's deep.
Whoa.
Oh,
wow.
The field goal is good.
That-
Oh wait, that's next season. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
not
I just picked up a new gig.
The worst three words
it wasn't bad.
Words in golf.
But it's getting some tips there from his caddy. It's a difficult lie there for him, but you know what? We're all kind of equal here.
Now, do you think Paul Daniels gambled on himself for this tournament?
I mean, I would bet on myself as well. I mean, that just shows you think you can succeed. Ooh. Well, poor
This game is a
You know,
lie.
he's going out there and he's trying his best, though.
But you know what? Guess what? Best isn't always good enough.
Okay.
Unfortunately, let's see if Paul Daniels, who has a decent lie here, can maximize on the before failure.
So you put it at the hole,
go out there and just
then you swing,
he
and it
needs to
still
lay
goes
back on
past
the
the
power.
hole.
You know, that's his problem. He's too heavy of a hitter.
Yeah, gotta be a little more finesse here.
Oh, you bring out the pitching wedge.
Paul Daniels isn't really a finesse kind of guy, though.
Paul Daniels really doesn't like the camera angle. And he hit a 2-yard shot.
As I stated, finesse is not Daniels' game in any facet of life.
Mr. Daniels is really hurting the team right now. He wonders why he didn't make the Ryder Cup Junior Edition.
Oh, better shot definitely this time. Makeable putt for Daniels here on his next shot, but we have the rookie coming up here, Mr. King. See what he can do.
You know, Mr. King, he's playing smooth. You know, he's made every shot he's needed to, but his hands are looking bad right now.
Is he going for the putt off of the?
Oh yes, he is.
Oh, that's an interesting take. That's a 57-foot shot. I don't know if I.
Well, you know, he talked to Tiger, and Tiger told him to keep it away from the short game.
What is Tiger now?
You know, he did win this tournament once, back when he was 5 years old.
Yeah, I was even alive back then.
Ooh. Oh, Mr. King!
That's a tough part of putting that far away. You have to put power to start off with, and unless you do it perfectly, it's not gonna trail off at the end.
I knew the lip wasn't regulation size.
Now let's see if Phil can make a move here. He needs to get within couple feet of the pin to really keep this competitive.
No, he could knock both his opponents out here, I believe, with this shot. He second guesses it. Check swing.
All right.
Oh.
In.
Birdie! Pour.
That is an amazing shot from Papore.
Now it's up to
Birdie.
Blaine King. He's the difference maker. He could tie it up.
Yeah, I'm done.
Pressure's on.
I think.
No pressure.
Yeah, because you're on shot 5.
Okay, there's a lot of pressure.
I'm done.
Didn't take the practice swing, and you know, a little too much the first time, not enough the second time. Earmark of someone who hasn't played a whole lot of golf.
Now it's the power man.
Now let's see if that finesse can actually work in Daniel's favor.
You know, Paul's really making our producer mad.
Oh, and that clinches it for Papore, I believe.
No. No,
Daniel's
we're gonna let him try for a moral victory. Yeah, Paul, please back out of the shot, please.
All right, let's see if he can save his dignity a little bit here. Nope, can't even save that.
No.
Daniels is really struggling today. He needs to.
I think we're gonna have to cut these kids off.
Oh, the par.
Parred the hole. How did he par that? What are we on?
Well, guys, a winner has been decided. The winner of our green jacket, which I don't know where it is right now. Wait. Oh, my co-host will bring it to me. Mr. Papore, can you please step in, receive your gift?
It's an honor.
Congratulations.
Nope.
This is Zach Aaron's jacket. Wear it with pride. It's
Zach
only a
Aaron
week old.
Memorial Tournament.
Mr. Papore is our winner. R.I.P. Phil, what was the key to success?
You know, it really just was staying in the game, not getting too upset. That second shot really hurt, completely overshot the green. Third shot, again, leave it short, but then you know what? You just stick with it and you say, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to chip that right in, and I'm going to steal this Masters.
Congratulations to our winner in this year's Minors Golf Masters. When we return, we will bring back Sarah, Rob, and Blaine for another round of the reporters.
The Zach Aaron Memorial.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad?
Don't stop. Don't get it confused.
Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
Every human being has a purpose, has a dream to have their voices heard, no matter where they come from, no matter where they go. As an American, it is their right to have freedom of speech. I have a dream that one day this message will speak louder than words, that even the quietest voice will not go unnoticed. That is my dream. What is yours? For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
Back to my normal voice. I'm Kyle Anthony. This is Sarah Macklin, Robert Gomez, and Blaine King are back for another round of the Pioneer Reporters. All right, first we're going to talk about everyone's thoughts on last night's NCAA National Championship, where Blaine's Villanova Wildcats overtook the North Carolina Tar Heels. We'll start with a Duke fan.
Well, I'm also a North Carolina fan to throw that in there. Know that that's like impossible, but I thought it was a highly entertaining game, one of the best championship games I've seen probably in my life, honestly. I think what did it for Villanova overcoming North Carolina in the end was just defense. Like, they both played, North Carolina came out strong, but Villanova answered right back. But then I think North Carolina got a little disorganized on defense, and I think that's what led Nova over the top. And then, I mean, of course, in the end, though, they let Paige have that shot, but I think that's what took Nova to the top.
Robert?
Yeah, I didn't really get to catch the first half of that game, but it was just an exciting game all around. Good for Nova. I know I'm happy for you. I bet you're stoked. You were waiting for that. But yeah, just that shot, just that double clutch shot was just something amazing.
Yeah, obviously I'm happy, but I have to agree with Sarah. This was one of the best championship games in a long time, probably since 2007 when Kansas and Memphis played squared off with each other. But the main thing was coaching style. Kyle, I know we discussed it a little bit. Jay Wright outcoached Roy Williams. Roy Williams, he did not adjust to his players. North Carolina is bigger than Villanova. Truthfully, there's no way why North Carolina shouldn't have been up and down the court.
Well, Kennedy Meeks could make a bunny. Bryce Johnson had his worst game of the season. We had a lot of people missing shots. I mean, North Carolina lost the game for themselves. Listen, Villanova played outstanding. The defense, attacking North Carolina at the top of the key, trying to shut off the offense there, was amazing. I loved Jay Wright's style. And I love the Jay Wright walkout, bang, we got this.
I like his style.
I like that style. Now we're going to go to the Bay Area, where a question was posed. Would the 72-win Chicago Bulls sweep the Golden State Warriors? Blaine, we'll start with you.
No. This Bulls team, yes, they won 72 games. But, they weren't the bad boy Pistons. They weren't they weren't beating you up down inside. Granted, they did have Dennis Rodman. They had MJ. They had Scotty. They had Steve Kerr. So, Steve Kerr, that's who we should ask. Steve Kerr, which team was better?
He won't answer the question.
Obviously,
he's too scared.
No, that's too smart choice.
The 95 Bulls, they probably would beat the Warriors in 6 games, but the Warriors, they would actually give them a big run because it's all about scoring and offense. And Golden State got 2 of the best scorers probably ever.
But you have to think about it this way. One of them's getting beat up by MJ, who everyone doesn't talk about his defense. MJ was one of the best defenders there was. And then there was Scottie Pippen, who nobody scored on Scottie Pippen. Now we'll go to Robert, the man from the Bay.
It's a different game, though. It's a different game now. So, if you were to think about, what type of era would they be playing in? Would they be playing in, the Golden State now is revolutionizing this game. That's one of the things is you just getting these guys constantly, Steph Curry taking these shots 10 feet behind the three-point line. They're doing something that, the Bulls probably, I don't think, would have known what to do, how to react to that. All these shooters around the three-point line. Back then, everyone was driving, everyone was going in, hard in the paint. Post was big. Post is hardly anything now, really. But I think it would be a good matchup to see. I wouldn't mind. I don't think definitely wouldn't sweep. Definitely wouldn't sweep. No way you're sweeping the Warriors in 4 games. But I can see them pulling a 4-3, going 7 games.
7-6.
I mean, I'm a big Golden State Warriors fan, and I mean, you can't get much better than Curry, and then you have the shooting of Thompson, and even Draymond Green's a great overall player and a leader on their team. I look at if they were to face each other, shooting, because we've seen what happens when Golden State can't shoot the 3. They lose. What they did versus the Lakers, that was terrible. So, like, it's going to all come down, if obviously it's not happening, but it would all come down to shooting. If the Golden State Warriors can shoot their best, I think they give them a good game, a good series.
Every time the Bulls have ever won a championship, they've lost at least 1 game. I think the Bulls would only lose 1 game. And I think it's just the defensive aspect, just no matter what era they played in. Because you got to figure Rodman would take everyone out down low. Rodman was revolutionary. So figure he takes out Draymond, takes out Andrew Bogut. You have Kerr coming off the bench. And listen, I don't think Scottie Pippen could hold Curry every game under 20. But I think the Golden State would take at least 1. I think it might be a 4-1 sweep. Just because, listen, I think it'd be a challenge to MJ saying, oh, you guys have more wins than us are the same. MJ was just a savage. Now we'll go to a topic that I'm really sick that we're even have to bring up again. Greg Hardy says more dumb stuff in their interview with Adam Scheffner. And it poses the question, will anyone ever pick up that loser?
I'll start this one off. It's going to take a very desperate team to pick up this guy. As much as his play has impressed last year, he had 6 sacks and he didn't even play the whole season. So, I mean, he's not a bad player, but it's just the fact of his credibility. He's like, because of the NFL is so big on domestic violence now and shooting that in the foot, he's like someone that teams are afraid to touch, I think. And he always puts his foot in his mouth. And until they have the photos. His wife didn't do that to herself. So, I mean, it's obvious he's guilty. So until he, I think, steps up to the plate and takes blame for it, I don't know.
I think it's a question of character, really, with this guy. I mean, you see him make these bold-faced lies just straight to the camera. No emotional change, not even saying, yeah, I had, owning up to anything that he did with that, and he already went through Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is pretty much one of those last resort guys that's always going to take you. I mean, if Al Davis was alive, who knows? Maybe
they got Old Smith though.
Maybe, but it's Mark Davis. They're running a different thing over there in Oakland. I know, but yeah, I just don't see anyone really trying to take another chance on this guy. Two chances in the NFL, and that's what you're going to get.
I agree with both Sarah and Rob's point because Sarah's right. I mean, he is killing his character right now, and it's going to take a very desperate team to pick him up. To Rob's point, Jerry Jones is that one desperate owner usually. Took a chance on him, and he did not re-sign him. I honestly do not see him getting re-signed unless he just cleans up his attitude. I mean, granted, maybe the Raiders take a flyer, but that's the only team. Maybe Buffalo,
Cleveland,
Rex Ryan,
they got to lose.
And I don't think Cleveland. I think Cleveland's getting a little educated. I don't see him being re-signed. He might not play for the next 2 years until he gets his act together.
I think hitting a woman, hitting a child are some of the worst things you can do, and I think Greg Hardy is a loser. I honestly think he shouldn't be ever allowed to play again. And honestly, if Greg Hardy was banished permanently, I'd probably laugh in his face and throw a drink in his face. I think Greg Hardy should just be booted from the league. Jerry Jones didn't want him. Des Bryant hates him. I mean, and Des Bryant's the biggest egotistical ass there is. So I think Steve Smith said it right. Get these guys out of the league. At least Ray Rice admitted he did something wrong. Greg Hardy, get the hell out of here. Join us next week for another episode of the Pioneer Sideline at the same Pioneer channel, same Pioneer time, and of course, the same old Pioneer Sideline.